Well, welcome back to day 27 of the harvest log on the 24th of August, and this is our last day of harvest for this year for the bulk of our crops. We do have 5 hectares of linseed and 4 hectares of vetch that are probably a couple of 3 weeks away. So this is really the last wrap up of our main harvest logs. It's the earliest finished since 2003. So it's been quite a good run through really from start to finish, with only a couple of very short weather breaks, and crops, bar the little bit of a gap between oilseed rape and wheat, have been fairly short, and the crops have been getting ripe as we've been approaching them. So we're right up on the top of the hill again, just adjacent to where we were yesterday. This is Big Joe's, this field, which has already been planted with oilseed rape into the baled off winter barley straw. And we are wrapping it up with the last field. This is Off Hills. This is where we have our Kellogg's and Niab cover crop trials with seed, very kindly donated from King's. So we should be cutting out those strips. They're all 12 metres wide, so we're going to cut 10.5 metres out through the middle of those, and we'll get them analysed for the quality of the grain as well as the yield, to have a look at the impact of the different cover crops. There's 14 different cover crop mixes and blends that were planted here last autumn, went over the winter. So as it's an Olympic year, I need to give out some gold, silver and bronze medals, and I think straightforwardly the gold medal has to go to the British summer. The weather has been just absolutely fantastic for combining. We've probably burnt about 3,000 litres of diesel, drying a few crops here and there, bits in the morning, bits late at night, which is probably about 10% of what we would usually use. So that's meant for a very cheap harvest, which has been very, very welcome. I think the silver medal probably goes to the milling wheat down in the Vale off the heavy land, which yielded very, very well and has pretty much on the whole made milling full spec milling potential. So that's good to be able to capture a little bit of value there. And I think probably the bronze medal will come for the spring barley, with sort of average yields, but very cheap to establish and pretty cheap to grow. So that's where we are. And what's going to be disqualified? Well, I think probably the winter barley and the oilseed rape. If it was a school report, they would definitely go home with no funding from Team GB, with a view to pulling their socks up and getting better for next year. So that's the harvest roundup, the harvest log for harvest 2016. I hope you've enjoyed the ride. Very, very different from last year. The weather, as I say, has made this relatively straightforward this year. Really pleased with the way the combine and the header have gone, and the way these first year of complete zero tilling crops have yielded in a sort of a fairly average kind of year across the board. So that's where we are. Tune in hopefully next year for Harvest Log 2017, and that's it for now.